topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. We're going to do something different tonight. We have been promoting for the last 2 weeks our big show tomorrow night at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. You know, the elections are right around the corner, and this is probably the most important election to ever come up. And I know we all kind of said this last time, but this time is so important. America is so divided right now. And all you got to do is go to the grocery store, go to the gas station, and you'll see how bad things are. We got 3 wars going on right now. So I thought tonight I'd do a preview of tomorrow night's show. And you know what? If you don't like what I say, we've got a chat line on here that you're more than welcome to put your comments in. If you agree, you can put those in also. I'm a conservative and very proud of it. And I really spend a lot of my time at night debating other liberals. And I'm probably doing a lot now because things are so screwed up now. And it's really bothered me how people perceive things. I got a text today, which I'm not going to read tonight, but I am going to read it on tomorrow night's show. And it's somebody who follows us. And probably one of the most arrogant letters I've ever read. And what I've finally figured out is it's not that a lot of people don't like Trump's policies. They just don't like Trump. And that is so sad because this country is in trouble. And this letter that I got today, it was actually, I don't even know if she watched the same debate that I did. So I'm going to go over a few things tonight. And this is a preview for tomorrow night's 50-minute long show that Sophia will be with me. We're going to talk about the debate. We're going to talk about the border. I mean, just one example that you heard Kamala Harris, and if I'm not pronouncing it right, I do not care. Because I have, for the last 3 years, heard liberals refer to President Trump as Trump and not President Trump. So if I'm not pronouncing Kamala's name right, I don't care. We got far more important problems than that. But I heard her say that the crime rate is down. I would love for you to ask people in New York City if they think crime rate's down, or Chicago, or Los Angeles, or St. Louis. Pretty incredible. These are all Democratic cities. And it was so amazing. Today, I knew that was wrong. I knew that crime is you can't bring in 20 million people from other countries and other countries that want to get rid of their trash and throw it on us and not have more crime. What I'm going to tell you tonight, and you can go Google this, the FBI came out with today, the crime rate is up. It is not down. It is up. So there went that one out the window, and any intelligent person who listens to any of the news knows that crime is not down. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow night. She also said in the debate how there's less people coming across the border now. You know what? That might be true, but she left out a little part that is so important, and that's all the illegals they're flying in on a daily basis. I guess they thought they were going to get that past us, that no one was going to notice. So now they're flying them over, so they are not part of the count that's coming across the border. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night. She also made a statement that for the first time, there is no active military in any war zones. And I got to tell you, I was so proud. And listen, I do not swear by Fox. But I do give them, depending on who's providing the information, I do give them some credit. Well, Fox News ran. I don't know how they set it up with our soldiers across the world. And they were literally laughing at that statement that there's no active military in any of the war zones. And she was trying to say that because everybody talks about how there were no new wars while President Trump was president. So I guess that was her way of combating that. That was a lie. You know, she has said some of the most horrible things about the wall. And there's so many interviews that she has done that the wall is communist, it's dangerous. I mean, she made so many, I'm not going to call them mistakes, they're just lies. Well, now all of a sudden, she's for the border wall. And all of a sudden, you know, we've always referred to her as the border czar. She never corrected it. I mean, the news always considered her the border czar because that's what Biden told us. In fact, some of the media asked her why, if she's the border czar, she never goes down to the border. Do you know in 3.5 years' time, forget this time she went to the border 2 weeks ago, she had been to the border one time, and it was in El Paso, and it was so far away for what was going on. Do you know President Trump has been down there over 40 times. But Kamala Harris never went down to the border. She bragged how she went around the world talking to leaders. Well, she flew around the world talking to leaders, and 3 days later, Russia was at war with Ukraine. I guess that one didn't go very well. You know, she told us that when she was young, she worked at McDonald's. And I have people who do incredible research. And I got to tell you, no one, and I know it was in Canada, but no one can find any records that she ever worked at McDonald's. I'm not calling her a liar on this one. I'm just saying no one has ever found anything about her working at McDonald's. And I'm bringing up these lies because you liberals say that I've got 50,000 things that Trump has said that were lies. Folks, think about that. 50,000? Even 25,000? Even 1,000? But usually, no one ever questions them. I had a very, very popular radio show, a Miami morning radio show. And I'd always have people come up to debate me when it came to politics. But see, I never let them get away with anything. They made a statement. Usually people would let them get away with it. Didn't want to hurt their feelings. That wasn't me. I always threw things right back at them. And it was so funny, many times they didn't have an answer because, first of all, they weren't prepared for anybody to debate them. So I'm kind of bringing up, I know that most people know who they're voting for. I just cannot believe there's people out there who do not know what they're voting for. So I'm just trying to open your eyes a little bit. This is probably a good example. The liberals always say, well, we tried to fight the border. There was a bill that was written by both Democrats and Republicans. And Trump, because of course they never give him, the honor he deserves by calling him president. He stopped that bill. It's so funny. President Trump knew people were going to say that. And he even made a statement. He said, you know what? I don't care if they blame me for it. They're going to blame me for it anyway. But it wasn't President Trump that stopped the bill. He doesn't even have a vote. We don't know if he's going to be president. It's not like he has that much say. But you know what? Those people who say that President Trump killed the bill that would have helped us on the border don't even know what was in that bill. Tomorrow, you're going to know exactly what was in that bill. But if I told you that that bill allowed 5,000 people a day, illegals, to come into our country, I bet you wouldn't believe it. In that bill, they were going to give $750 million to Ukraine on top of what we've already given them. Ukraine's not even an ally. They're not even a NATO member. And you look at what is going on here in the United States. People are barely living paycheck to paycheck. Again, go to the gas station. See what gas is now. See what it was when President Trump was in office. I went to the grocery store the other day. And I mean, maybe 20% of my basket was full. It's $95. Listen, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. So when they tell us how great the economy is, go buy a car. Go buy gas for that car. Go to the grocery store. And the Democrats are trying to blame this on price fixing. Tomorrow night, we're going to make it so easy for you to understand. I heard President Trump made a speech today, and it was to women in Georgia. And women worry about what they spend at the grocery store and the cost. And women worry about their children. Look at children or teenagers or college students who are being murdered by illegals or by fentanyl. So we're going to talk about these things. And I'm going to point out, and everything that I tell you, you can go and look it up. I'm not going to do your homework for you tomorrow night. Don't tell me, ask me for proof. I'll tell you, you can go look it up. This was kind of, like I said, a preview for tomorrow night's show. I'm hearing Kamala talk about this $25,000 new house bill. First of all, she doesn't write bills. Okay? That's the Congress when it comes to spending. I don't hear one person ask her how she's going to pay for this. I've heard her say the rich are going to start paying their fair share. But let me tell you something. The rich pay a lot of money in taxes. A lot of money. But even if you took all the millionaires and all the billionaires, she's not going to be able to pay for that $25,000. Another reason we've decided to do this show, and probably would put me over, is the hurricane in North Carolina. I am so embarrassed how people lost their homes. And, our great producer, Rebel, here is from Louisiana, and they get hurricanes. But I was so embarrassed for our company that people who have lost everything, that FEMA came in and couldn't even offer people the $750. Do you think everybody got that? I have talked to so many people that FEMA turned down. You know why they're turning this down? Because we are giving all this money to illegals. I just heard yesterday, very reliable source, in New York City, that 130 hotels are being occupied totally by illegals. Who do you think's paying for that? And guess who the security is? Our military. Why is our military guarding these hotels that are all illegals? The reason why FEMA doesn't have money is because they're spending the money on baby formula. Remember that one when there was no baby formula? Well, guess what? We know now our government was buying all the baby formula up for the illegals. Guess who got shafted again? See, you don't hear people talk about that. Who's paying for these hotel rooms? Hotels aren't giving it to them for cheap. In fact, I'm sure they've jacked their prices up. Who's feeding all these illegals? Who's flying all these illegals in? Where do you think all this money is coming from? It's coming from us. And this is why FEMA has no money. Can you imagine being offered, you've lost your home, and FEMA has offered you maybe $750? What are you going to do with $750? And you have to sign papers. This is a loan. They're not giving it to you. It is a loan. Guess what if you don't pay the loan back? They will take your land away from you. Do you know that Biden came down on President Trump saying he was spreading rumors about FEMA, that people are getting their money? Again, $750 when you've lost everything. But guess what? I've heard from enough people who live there, who are going through this, who filled out papers for FEMA. And guess what? Most of them were turned down. $750 lousy dollars. And here they're giving, we've heard as high as $6,000 or $7,000 to illegals each month. So this is what we're going to be talking about tomorrow night. And I know I've already gotten one hate mail, but I know I'm going to get so many hate mails. That's okay. I love my country. I love the Lord. I love my country. And that's why we're doing this show tomorrow night. It's at 5 o'clock Eastern time, and it'll be 50 minutes long, and we'll have a call-in number also. Hey, I appreciate you sitting in and just being part of this. We'll be with you again tomorrow night, and then we'll be back again with you next week with more Ask the Experts. Thanks for tuning in. God bless.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.